Atlanta News First Plus starts now with breaking news.
Hey there, First Alert meteorologist Isaac Williams here with an update on Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 storm we've been tracking for days. It has officially made landfall, so I want to talk a little bit more about how in rare company this is. Last hour you heard from Rodney Harris on some of this as well, and just want to kind of rehash some of this rare company that Melissa has joined this afternoon. Again, 1 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, the National Hurricane Center declaring Melissa's landfall as a Category 5 storm with winds of 185 and the minimum central pressure of 892. So this is one of the most powerful hurricane landfalls in the Atlantic Basin's historical record, and that comes straight from the National Hurricane Center, and this is kind of what we're looking at here. So the latest high-resolution satellite imagery, again, the eye wall continues to be near perfectly intact. This has been something that has almost defied the atmosphere, so to speak. We do not get these types of winds and pressures very often in the Atlantic. These are slightly more common in the Pacific and especially the Western Pacific, but because we haven't had any hurricane activity in the Caribbean over the last or this entire hurricane season, this is the reason that we have seen Melissa sort of blow up like this. So again, Hurricane Center declaring landfall near New Hope, Jamaica, which is on the western side of the island as of 1 o'clock on this Tuesday afternoon. Winds still, hurricane winds only extend out still 30 miles. So this is good news for Kingston on the other side of the island. They're still getting lots of storm surge and flooding and wind, but it looks like this eye wall is going to go right over Montego Bay, and their population is near 100,000 people. So we are looking at very, very significant impacts expected across the western half of the island within that 30 to 40 mile radius of the eye wall. Again, this is cutting across the western half of Jamaica, may go right over Montego Bay, and again, this storm is historic in almost every way possible, again with winds of 185. We'll see what the final number is. The National Hurricane Center always goes back and looks over every single piece of data, and they may change the numbers later, but right now these are the official latest numbers that we have. So winds of 185 moving to the north-northeast at 9, so it has picked up some forward speed relative to really its entire lifespan the past about 5 days, where it has been sort of just crawling around the Caribbean. The latest track here continues to point this toward the eastern tip of Cuba by tomorrow morning, as that forward speed begins to increase just a bit. And it could still affect the western island of Cuba as a Category 3 plus hurricane. So we could still see major hurricane impacts for the eastern tip of Cuba, even as it weakens slightly. But still, the water between Jamaica and Cuba is also very, very hot. So the weakening may not be super quick to occur, even though it is crossing over Jamaica and the western tip of the island. As we move it forward in time here, it looks like it is going to track over Bermuda potentially Thursday night or Friday as it continues to pick up forward speed and accelerate into the open waters of the Atlantic. Again, none of this is going to impact the United States other than rough seas, which is, of course, good news. But I want to just go back and kind of spend some more time looking at the historic presentation of the storm. We just, again, don't see storms like this very often in the Atlantic. I did a piece on Jamaica yesterday on First Alert Weather Extra, and that this is really only the third major hurricane to actually directly strike the island. We had Charlie in 1951, and another storm. The name is escaping me at the moment, but this is in rare company. Again, this is only the third major hurricane to strike Jamaica basically in the last about 70 years. Again, winds of 185 miles per hour, gusts over 200 miles per hour with the minimum central pressure of 892. So I believe the 892 pressure is the strongest landfalling pressure tied with the Labor Day hurricane In terms of overall pressure of the hurricane's lifespan, 892 is third strongest based on air pressure. 185 for the wind is second strongest ever, only behind Hurricane Allen in 1980. So again, this is very, very rare company that doesn't happen very often. But when you get the combination of the atmospheric ingredients that we had over the Caribbean, which was lots and lots of oceanic heat, so temperatures were above 90 degrees on the ocean surface. We had basically no wind shear, and we had lots of exhaust, so we had high pressure right over the hurricane in the upper levels of the atmosphere that really allowed that exhaust to happen. So when you have the super strong heating factor of the ocean, plus the high pressure aloft, that is a perfect recipe, I should say, to get that minimum central pressure down. These numbers are lower than Hurricane Katrina. These numbers lower than Hurricane Rita, which were very, very severe hurricanes. And this is actually the third Category 5 hurricane of this season. Aaron and Humberto thankfully did not hit anything earlier in the season, but unfortunately, Melissa has now directly struck the island of Jamaica. Again, on the western side of the island, winds of 185, minimum central pressure of 892. I want to bring in ANF Plus's Maria Moreau. She's got some video that she's going to dial up for us here in a second, just kind of looking at what has happened leading up to, because obviously with Melissa spinning pretty close to Jamaica for the past couple of days with very minimum forward speed, they've already been dealing with quite a bit of adverse reaction or adverse impacts, I should say, from the hurricane. But now, Maria, they're getting the absolute worst of it, especially the western part of the island. It looks like this may go right over Montego Bay.
Yeah, that's right, Isaac. You really said it best, and I just want to show folks, we just obtained video from the hurricane hunters, really showing you the eye wall, and as close as you can get as a human to a hurricane, and that really shows you the magnitude of this storm.
And this is known as a stadium effect. It just kind of looks like a bowl of a football stadium, you know, and it's as a meteorologist and even, you know, as just a spectator, this is like extraordinary video, but it just reminds you that it's the worst thing you want to see when you're talking about a hurricane hitting land, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it looks peaceful, and you're taking a look
Correct.
at this video, and it is anything but. It is catastrophic. I mean,
yes.
We've heard from local government officials in Jamaica, from experts, meteorologists such as yourself, everyone is saying, you know, this is a major hurricane with severe life-threatening consequences, and that can't be understated enough. So as we continue to look through this video, I want to show you some other kind of pictures that we're getting. This is shortly before that hurricane made landfall and some of the preparation that was going on, and already the red that you highlighted, Isaac, of the damage that was taking place. And we know that evacuations were underway, and the local government was bracing everyone as best as they could. Our CNN correspondent went down to Jamaica to speak with the officials who are really just doing everything they can to brace for impact.
This threat is severe. We have been praying.
Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness preparing with the rest of the island nation for the impact of Hurricane Melissa, the strongest storm on the planet this year. The streets of Jamaica's capital city, Kingston, empty on Monday as the rare Category 5 hurricane raged in the Caribbean, with winds of up to 175 miles per hour. The enormity of the threat on full display as a hurricane hunter plane flew into the storm's eye on Monday. The slow-moving giant is expected to dump a massive amount of rain as it moves over Jamaica, causing landslides and catastrophic flash flooding. That, combined with the powerful storm surge and high winds, threatened widespread damage to infrastructure. The National Hurricane Center warned of the potential for, quote, total structural failure.
It could have an impact on our shores, more to the western end of Jamaica. And if that were to happen, and I've said it before, I don't believe there's any infrastructure within this region that could withstand a Category 5 storm.
The Prime Minister saying after the storm passes, Jamaica will need help.
The long-term recovery and the medium-term recovery would require support. We continue to pray for the best.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And yeah, it really tells you everything you need to know about the days leading up, the hours leading up, the minutes, and now we are here at landfall. And we are looking closely at the Caribbean as we expect Cuba to be next. And Isaac highlighted really the path over the next day and days ahead. And for Jamaica, for these Caribbean islands that are feeling the full force of this storm, they will be picking up the pieces of this for years to come, and our hearts go out to them. We are going to stay on top of this story and the breaking news that is coming out of Hurricane Melissa on air and online for you. Make sure you have the Atlanta News First app downloaded on your phone. We will send you push notifications for major alerts so you don't miss a thing.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.